Hi, this is Sierra, and I'm here to show you all how I created my first Oracle deck. So I created an Oracle deck not too long ago, I think maybe like last month, and people were interested in knowing how I created the deck. So I wanted to go ahead and make a video just because it's easier to do that than to try to explain it verbally or through like a Facebook message or something. So I'm making this video because it was requested. Now, I do want to give a disclaimer or a few disclaimers. It is the 4th of July, so you might hear fireworks in the background. I'm hoping it won't be too loud. And then I also do have a sinus infection, so it is kind of hard for me to talk right now. I probably sound a little bit stuffy, but I'm going to try to get through this video without coughing or without sneezing. So please just bear with me as I try to get through the video. So there are a few different platforms that you can make your tarot or oracle decks on. I chose makeplayingcards.com. If you go to Google and type in make tarot cards online, you'll see that there are several different companies that you can go through to have your cards printed. I do suggest checking out a few different websites. I never like to go with the first thing that pops up on Google. I like to check a few different sites out first to see who has the best pricing, or also who has the best platform, or who has the easiest platform for me to use. So initially I was going to go with this company called printerstudio.com. As a matter of fact, I see that some of the Oracle decks that I've purchased on Etsy were created on this website. Like I have this 10 Flame Oracles, 10, Twin Flame Messages Oracle deck. And I can see here that the creator did use this website to make her decks. The reason why I ended up not going with this site is because I noticed their price per deck was higher. So most of the websites have the same sort of platform. You basically have to design your cards elsewhere, save them as a file that is acceptable for the site, and then upload it. So mine were saved as a PDF, I believe. A PDF or a JPEG, I'm not sure. I know I did it in Adobe Pro. So basically you have to create the cards, create the design, and then upload them to the platform, and then they will print them out for you. So most of the sites are about the same, but the pricing is different. So the pricing is based on the number of cards in each deck and the number of decks that you purchase. It's basically pretty much how wholesale works for pretty much everything. So the higher the quantity that you buy, the cheaper you pay per unit, or in this case, per deck. So you see here, if you buy 1 to 5 decks, the price is $16.45 per deck. And this is if you have 20 cards. If you add more cards, of course, the price is going to go up. But you see here, if you buy $100 to $249, the price per deck is only $10.25. So it's at least $6 cheaper, but that's because you are buying more decks at a time. So you're paying for more upfront. But so the highest price on Printer Studio is $16.45 if we're using 20 cards. When you go to makeplayingcards.com, you're going to want to click on the type of cards you want to make or the size. So if you do poker cards, those are going to be smaller than the average tarot cards. Tarot cards are the normal tarot size, and then the big cards are like the big oracle deck size. I like to do tarot size because my hands are very small. So it's just easier for me to work with those size cards or the poker size cards. So I'm going to change the number of cards to 20 so we can see what the price difference is from Printer Studio. Okay, so you see here, if you buy 1 to 5 decks from MakePlayingCards.com, it's only $14.95 per deck, whereas on Printer Studio, it was like 16 something. I don't remember the change. So it is cheaper if you use MakePlayingCards.com. For the sake of this video, I'm only going to do up to 10 cards because it'll just be easier for me to demonstrate with a smaller amount of cards. But you can choose from their list when you decide to make your cards. So you do have to pick from one of these numbers. I chose 54 cards for my deck. We're going to go with 10 cards for the purpose of this video though. And I kept all of the settings pretty much the same, very basic settings like factory settings. That was because it was my first time making a deck and my first time using this company. So I didn't want to try to get too fancy with it and then not like the result. So as far as the card stock, which is usually like the thickness and the quality of the cards, I went with the regular standard smooth that they have here, but you can also choose, those are the fireworks. If you're hearing like what sounds like gunshots, it's fireworks. So sorry about that. Okay, so I chose a standard smooth. You can also do linen or plastic. So linen is kind of like a textured, it's very soft. If you have the 5 Cent Tarot or the Flowers and Fauna deck by Jesse Jumanji, those decks are made with linen finished cards or linen cardstock. So that is going to cost more because it is a better quality. So I went with the standard, and we're going to do 10 cards in each deck for the sake of this example. As far as the print type, I went with the regular full color print. You can also go with holographic, or if you want to have gilded edges like gold edges or silver edges, you can do that as well. And of course, that is going to cost you more. So as you are going through and picking your options, you will see the pricing change here depending on what options you choose. As far as the finish, I just left it as the regular game card finish. I don't see matte here. So if you want to have matte cards, it looks like they don't allow that, or at least for the options that I've chosen so far, you cannot have a matte finish, but you can have just the regular card finish or the gloss. I really don't like the gloss that much because that can make the cards stick together, which makes it harder to shuffle and to use the deck. So I just went with the regular. And then you can choose your packaging here. I chose to leave mine as the shrink wrapped, and then I went on Amazon and purchased drawstring bags to include with my decks. So that way, once they are open, they can store them in the drawstring bag. But if you want to purchase a bag from MakePlayingCards.com, they do have velvet bag options, and they also have box options. So you can do the typical Oracle or Tarot deck box, or you can do the tuck box, which is kind of like what regular cards come in, like regular playing cards or Uno. You open it from the top. So these are the different options, and then you can also do a tin as well. Here you can decide if you want to have a book or not. I chose not to have a book with my deck because the messages on each card are pretty straightforward and to the point, so there really is no need for a book. But if you do want to have a book with yours, these are their options. The different types of folds. If you don't know what these are, I suggest you look them up to see what they look like. And also, if you are needing a template, you can go down here and you'll see download a playing card template. So that way, when you are designing your cards, you can make sure that they are going to, or the design is going to fit properly on the cards. when you upload it. So I downloaded mine as a PDF file because I'm working in Adobe. If you just have the Adobe Reader, I'm not sure if it's going to work for you on there because you will need to edit the template in order to get rid of all of these lines on here. But this is how you can get a template so that way you can make sure your design fits on the cards. Now, I could not find this. For some reason, I was overlooking it when I was on this website. Um, but because I was going to originally use Printer Studio, I had already downloaded their template. So you can go to Printer Studio and you're at the section where you are ready to personalize your cards, and you can go down here and you can download the template. So because I couldn't find the template on makeplayingcards.com, I don't know what I was doing that day. I just couldn't see it. I had went ahead and downloaded the template from Printer Studio. It pretty much looks the same. So either one will work. I'm going to go ahead and click on Start Your Design. Okay. So this is where it can get a little bit confusing. The way my cards are, the backs of all the cards are the same, and the image on the front of the cards are all the same, but the messages on the fronts of each cards are different. So initially I was thinking I needed to click on same image, but that was only giving me the ability to put the same message on each card. So since I want to have different text or different messages on each card, I had to go ahead and click different images in order to be able to do that. So even though the image is the same on all of the cards, I still needed to click on different images in order to make sure I can type a different message on each card. You can probably come over here and click on different message as well, but when I clicked on that, I didn't really like how it looked. It just looked different. Let me click on it now to see what happens. It was trying to, I guess, let me do a background. See, it was not allowing me to upload my image to the cards when I clicked that one. So I'm going to go ahead and go back, and we're going to click on the one that I originally used. Oh, it put my settings back. Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay, so just to make things easier for you, if you have designed your cards already and you want to upload your design, you're going to want to click on different images. So now we have our spot where we can upload our template. So I'll show you all what my template looks like. Well, I'll show you what the original template looks like, the one from Printer Studio. I saved it under tarot size template. I do suggest saving the template as is without making any changes to it first. That way, whenever you want to make a new design, you can come back to the template and see where all the lines are. Because once you get started, you are going to delete all of this stuff, and you want to remember where this safe area line is. So I would suggest saving your template as is, and then you can reopen it and work on your projects every time you need to do a new tarot card deck. So this is the template from Printer Studio. In order to get rid of these lines, you're going to want to come over here if you're working in Adobe. I'm using Adobe Acrobat Pro DC. And what I just clicked on allows you to edit. So you basically can just click to select what you want to delete, and then you're going to right click, and then you're going to hit delete, and you see it's gone. I suggest deleting everything except for this red dotted line. The red dotted line is the safe area. So that is basically going to tell you where to stop as far as your text and your design to make sure nothing gets cut off. So I would delete everything except for this red dotted line. And then once you're done with your design, you can delete the red dotted line. So again, to delete stuff, you just double click on it, or you just click on it, right click, hit delete, and it's gone. And you do that for all of this. So you can delete this, the blue line. Okay. So just leave this red line here so that way you know to keep your design and your text inside the red line. And then when you're done, you can delete it. You can save it, and then you can upload it. So I will show you all what my template looks like now. So this is the front of my cards. So this is what it looks like after you remove all of the lines. I forgot to remove this little red line here. So I was wondering, why is that showing up on all my cards? I didn't notice it there. I don't have any text on here. So basically when I upload this, it's going to fit perfectly on this template right here. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this now. We're going to go to upload images and then find the file on your computer and upload it. It uploads pretty fast, so I like that. You'll see it right here when you upload it. If you want different images on each card, you would have to keep uploading all of the images per card until you have them all. And then you can just drag the image and add it to all of the cards. So this is why I only wanted to do 10. I didn't want to sit here and have to do this for 54 cards. That would make the video a lot longer. Okay, so now we have the front of the cards done. And we're going to go to next step. If you all want to know how I designed the cards, I did not go through a graphic designer or artist who specifically made the images for my deck or for me. What I did was purchase clip art online. You can go to Etsy to do this. You can go to, there's probably a whole lot of different websites you can go to do it, but I like to do it on Etsy because you can clearly see if it comes with a commercial license or not. I will explain all of that in another video just to make sure this one isn't too long. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next step. This is where we're going to be able to edit the front of the cards. So this is where we can add our text. I forgot to mention this, but you'll notice my name is up here. So I am signed in. I have created an account and I'm signed in. Once you determine which profile or which platform you want to use, I suggest going ahead and making an account so that way you can save your work as you go and you don't end up losing anything if you end up having to walk away from your computer or if the computer crashes, something like that. So this is where you can save your project. So I'm just going to type the name. And then you would hit save. I'm not going to really hit save because this is just a tutorial or an example. But basically the way I did it, after each card was done, I hit save just to make sure I didn't lose anything. Now we're going to add our text. So you come over here to the left and click on the blue add text box. Okay, and if you're wondering, the deck that I created is a love oracle deck, but it's using songs. So that's why I've typed in August Alsina's name here and the name of his song, No Love. So this card is basically about, somebody who wants no strings attached. They just want a physical relationship, and that's pretty much it. They don't want something serious, pretty much. So this is the name of the card. I'm going to hit apply. You'll see that it ends up being in the left corner of the card, so you can move it down and you can put it wherever you want to put it on the card. The only thing that I don't like about this platform, it does not have something to guide you and help you to know that your text is centered. So you pretty much have to eyeball it and hope that you got it right and that it's in the middle. So I don't like the fact that this is on 3 different lines. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this over or expand it. So that way it's on 2 different lines. And then I'm going to come over here where it says alignment and center my text because I want it to be centered. Okay, so we're going to pretend like that's in the middle. Up here is where you can change the font. Right now it's regular Arial, which I don't mind because it's just an example. And so you can choose different fonts if you want to. I think they have a pretty nice variety. And then you can change the color. Oh, gotta make sure you click on it. Then you can change the color to whatever color you want to change it to. I'm gonna go with this color. And let's make it bold. This is where you can change the size to make it bigger or smaller. And then I'm going to add another text box so that way I can put the message on the card. I don't remember exactly what the message was, so I'm just going to type your message goes here. And also, this does have a spell check, so it will give you the underlined squiggly red thing if you misspell something, but it doesn't have a grammar check. So you want to make sure you're reading each card to make sure it makes sense and it says what you want it to say. I'm going to hit apply, and that's going to put it back into the upper left corner. So we're going to move it. And again, I don't want that on 2 lines. Okay, so put it wherever you want to put it. Make it whatever color you want to make it. Make it whatever size you want to make it. Notice that now it's big enough to go outside of the red dotted line. You don't want your text to go outside of that line. So I'm going to make it smaller so that way it stays in the lines and I don't have to worry about it getting cut off in the printing process. And then you would go up here and hit save and then move on to your next card by clicking on the number of the card that you want to move to. I'm going to go ahead and leave the rest of these blank. So we're going to click on next step. And now you'll notice it says choose what you want to put on the card backs. So for my deck, the back of each card is the same. It all says the same thing. So now I'm going to click on same image for all backs. If you have a different image for the backs of your cards, Or if you have different messages to go on the back, different text to go on the back, then you want to click different images. So I'm going to click on same image. And you see now it only gives me one card, whereas before when I chose different images, I had 10 different cards because there's 10 cards in this deck. Since everything is going to look the same and have the same message on the back, I only have to upload my template once. So I created a design for the front and the back of the cards. Now I'm going to upload the template for the back of the cards. And you see it's right here. So you can either move it over. Okay, that's interesting sound there. Oh my God, I wish they weren't doing fireworks right now, but it is the 4th of July. So you can either move it over here or you can click on help me autofill images and it'll put it on there. And as you can see, everything is within the dotted line, so I don't have to worry about anything getting cut off. I did add text to this template in Adobe, but I'm going to add more text to it on this platform. So I'm going to go to next step. Oh, I forgot to show y'all something. This is print direction, so if you want it to print horizontally instead of vertically, you can click on that. Okay, so let's go to the next step. And I'm going to add the name of the Oracle deck. All right, it's back in the left corner. I'm going to move it down. I'm not going to bother to try to make sure this is centered, just because this is just an example. And let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's say this is perfect to me. This is how I want my cards to look. I'm happy with it. We're going to go to the next step. Here it is showing you all of the cards. So it's giving you a chance to take a look at everything to make sure it looks the way you want it to look. So it'll show you the front and back of each card. Notice here there's nothing here because I did not write a message on the rest of the cards, only on this card. So this is your chance to take a look to make sure you didn't skip any cards or anything like that. And then once you confirm that everything looks how you want it to look, you'll come down here, click the check box, showing that you are confirming that you want them to print the images as is, and you have permission pretty much to use the images, or you own the copyright to the images or to the messages on the card. And then we're going to add to cart. I'm not going to add it to my cart because I'm not really going to buy this. But when you add it to the cart, it's going to give you another chance to change the card stock, or the amount of decks that you want, or the finish that you want on the cards. So you'll get a few chances throughout the process of making these cards to change that if you change your mind about one of those things. So that's pretty much it as far as how to get the cards to an online platform so they can be printed. So this is the printer. Make Plain Cards is going to be the printer or the publisher. So once you add these to your cart, they will print them out for you and they will send you the decks that you've ordered. I do suggest ordering one deck first just to take a look at it so you can see what the cards look like. You can see what the finish looks like. You can see if there are any mistakes. And then if you like that deck, then you can go back in and order more decks if you want to. You can list your decks for sale on this website, just like you saw on the other website that we looked at. Or you can order a bunch of copies up front and then list them on your own website to sell. The other option you have is to do pre-orders. So for example, I put mine on Etsy as pre-order. So people basically ordered the deck before I ordered the copies of them. That way it gave me the number of people that were going to order the decks, and then I went ahead and ordered extra ones. That came in handy because I had more people that wanted to buy them after I received the deck. So if I had only ordered the amount that people pre-ordered, then those people would have had to wait for the other decks to be printed. And I would say, uh-oh, it says I unplugged my microphone. Okay, I would say go ahead and just order some extra decks just in case you need them. So with the pre-order, people already know that you do not have the deck and they will have to wait in order for you to receive the deck. So you'll want to tell them it's going to take 3 weeks or it's going to take 4 weeks. You want whoever you decide to use to print the deck, they will tell you about how long it usually takes them to print the decks. So Make Playing Cards will tell you, I think it takes about 3 days from the time that you order them for them to process the decks or print them, and then they ship them to you after that, and that can take a couple of weeks. So you want to make sure you are telling people the proper time frame it's going to take in order for you to get the decks and send them to them. If you're going to do pre-orders. But when you pre-order, that lets you know about how many decks to buy so you can try to get the best price for the decks. And then the other option is just to order a bunch at once. So if you want to order 100, if you want to order 1,000, if you want to order 50, you would basically have to pay the cost up front. You would probably get a better price per deck for that. But again, you're paying the cost up front and then it's up to you to actually sell the decks. So those are the different ways that you can sell your deck. The next video is going to be talking about how to get artwork for your decks when you're not working directly with a graphic designer or an artist to create the artwork specifically for your deck. So thank you for watching this video. I hope y'all have a good day. Bye.